I've got sort of a field fix today. This is an 04 Mercedes C320 that I just bought off a guy. He thought the engine was toast, so I got it pretty cheap. Turns out it's just an AC compressor. The clutch is toast, so it was just rattling around. There was actually parts floating on the front cross member. That snap ring had come off. These vibration isolators were just kind of hanging out down there. So it was really just coming apart, making some pretty awful noise. But instead of pulling the compressor off of the car, I'm just trying to do it with it in the car. So you do have to get the toolkit. Well, go ahead and do it. It's only like 20 bucks or something on Amazon, eBay, whatever. So I've got a new clutch kit. It comes with that new snap ring on the outer, and it did not, this kit did not come with the inner snap ring. You'll just pull that off with a screwdriver. Just don't bend it up so you can use it again. And this tool does come with a 7mm socket, which you probably already have that, but the shaft of the compressor is 7mm hex end. So basically how that works, this goes on the front of the compressor. You stick your socket in there, hold this stationary, spin your ratchet clockwise, and that's effectively turning the compressor or the clutch counterclockwise, and it spins off of that threaded shaft. But once you get this, sometimes this plate is separated. It was actually not even present in this car. But once you do that, you'll pull that inner snap ring off, and sometimes that clutch will just slide off by hand. A lot of times you'll have to use a puller, and you can't get a regular 3-jaw puller between the compressor and the radiator. So what I'm using is actually a valve spring compressor. It's much narrower. I just pulled off the valve spring compressy bits. That and that is just held on by a little E-clip. Just pulled that off a pick. So now what I'm left with is a 1/4-inch drive. This is just like an auto parts store flavor. I don't know if they're all going to be 1/4-inch drive, but it's perfect for accepting a socket. So now I got a 7mm deep socket, and I could put it on the end of the compressor shaft and then put those jaws on this plastic pulley, tighten it down, and then strike this with a long rod or bar, and then tighten it down some, strike it again, and it starts to walk off. But I've run my depth of this 7mm until the handle was touching the radiator. So now I'm just going to switch over to a short 7mm socket and go ahead and retrieve this clutch. And that took quite some time, but I finally got that pulley off of there. And I had to kind of modify my valve spring compressor and give it kind of a sweeping angle to grab some teeth farther into the pulley instead of just this lip on the edge. But you can see a lot of the ball bearings are gone. This thing is just toast. So the new one, this faceplate just comes off like that, and those vibration isolators are going to go on the outside toward the front of the car. So I'm going to try and get this pressed on there now, and then that wavy snap ring will go back on there, and then this face just kind of plugs in there, screws on, and then I can put the belt back on there. Alright, so I got it back on there really in about a minute versus the 2 hours that I spent fighting it off. But just use some snap ring pliers to get that wavy snap ring back over the front of the clutch. Now this faceplate goes on there. Now remember, this is threaded and the end of the compressor shaft is threaded, so it's going to press on there so far. All those tabs are going to go between those vibration isolators. So after it engages those threads, then you're going to start threading that thing on there while you're holding the shaft stationary with the 7mm socket. Okay, I needed both hands momentarily, but I was able to press that. It's kind of a snug fit and all those vibration isolators, and then just start turning it clockwise. And now the threads are engaged. You can see the compressor shaft is not turning, but I'm just spinning the clutch by hand. So I'm just going to go until it stops by hand. So that 7mm portion of the shaft should be fully exposed. There, we just made it to the threads. So now we can use the tool to finish tightening this thing up. So now I've got that done. Basically all you do, I've just got a crescent wrench. So this goes in the compressor. It's keyed, so it really only goes on there kind of the right way. And then you're going to hold this hex portion still, so just using a crescent wrench, and then your 7mm socket, you're going counterclockwise, and that's going to draw that clutch tighter, and just get it tight. And now I can put the belt back on. And a belt map for reference, again, this is a C320 V6 2004. So from the generator, it sweeps back over this idler pulley. It's going to go around the tensioner pulley. Then the crank is supposed to get as much engagement as possible from the belt. It does that, and then sweeps around the right hand side as you're looking at the engine of the AC compressor, over the top of the power steering pump, and then up here to this idler.
Thanks for watching.